So welcome to the January 14th regular school committee meeting. Right now it's 5:33. Sorry for the 3-minute late start time. There's some technical difficulties. We have Jamie starting with us, Mr. Cutlass, digitally, so just so everybody's aware. And so if we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Thank you. So our announcement, the regular school committee meeting will be televised and recorded. It may be viewed live on Comcast Channel 22 and on Verizon Channel 34 or on youtube.com/Tewksbury-TV. Under the open meeting law, the public is permitted to make an audio or video recording of an open session at this time. I would ask, is anybody recording tonight's meeting? And seeing nobody, I'll move on to our recognitions, and I'll turn it over to Mrs. Hitter-Regan to introduce.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair, and I'm going to invite our athletic director, Mr. Ronald Druin, up. Two of our recognized athletes are not with us. Mr. Druin will say a few words about them first.
Yeah, we had an outstanding fall in athletics, and we had tonight we have a couple Players of the Year in Boston Global Scholastics and our Coach of the Year that we're going to honor. But starting with our guys that aren't here, Stephen Apetesano was a senior cross-country runner for us. He was our team MVP. He was first team all-conference in the Merrimack Valley. He was MVC2 runner of the year. Stephen's been a 3-season, 4-year, 3-season. He'll be a 12-sport athlete for us, 12 varsity letters for us. Stephen's an outstanding runner for us. Our track team's at Reggie Lewis Center tonight. He's our best distance kid. So he's at Reggie Lewis representing us tonight. Stephen had a great year. The top 12 kids in the conference in the league meet, which is run at Shed Park in Lowell, our first team all conference. And Lowell's finish line is a narrow kind of chute about as wide as your area there. And Stephen was in about 9th or 10th place and dug in and held first team all conference. It was really, really good for him. Great year from Stephen Apetesano. Our second guy is Ben Christopher. Ben Christopher had a fantastic year with our football team this past year. Ben's a 3-year varsity kid for our football team. He's on our hockey team. We have a big hockey game tonight over at Murphy Rink in South Boston against Boston Latin, who's one of our rivals. Benny's a impact guy on our hockey team as well. He had a fantastic year with the football team. He had 18 touchdowns. He was our leading scorer. He was the Merrimack Valley Conference Offensive Player of the Year. Just a fantastic year from Ben. So those two guys. Ben was also named Boston Globe All-Scholastic. So those two guys had fantastic years. And unfortunately, with the way the winter season falls, and I had talked to Miss Milligan and Bridget about, looking to push this out more towards April where we can kind of wrap all our kids around moving forward. But unfortunately, Ben and Stephen couldn't be here. But we do have a couple of one of our athletes and one of our coaches being recognized tonight. So I know Mr. Regan wants to say some things.
Madam Chair, thank you. We do have two amazing, I would say, community members with us tonight, not just the athlete and coach. What strikes me way far and above your athletic talent, and honestly, Brian, all the contributions you make, not only to the teams, but to our school, is really your love, your passion, your volunteerism in this community of Tewksbury. Johnny, I had the luxury of watching you right outside my office window, really mentor and really big brother a student at the Center Elementary School. I mean, there's nothing more we can ask of our students but to give back. So thank you for doing that. And Brian, we clearly get to watch you not only mentor, but teach and coach and really build character and that feeling of inclusion with so many over so many years. So that type of service truly starts at home. And clearly, Johnny, you've been brought up right, and I'm sure your parents, I know your grandparents, your family are very proud of all you do. Coach Druin will talk about the athletic piece in a minute. And Brian, I know your parents are very proud of you. We're very proud to have you here, and your wife and your own kiddos are very proud of all you give to us. So I want to say thank you for that before Coach Druin talks about your athletic recognitions.
Yeah, I'll start with Johnny. Awesome year. 13 interceptions. He's the all-time leader in interceptions. He had a bunch of touchdowns. Just a fantastic year. He was the Merrimack Valley Conference overall player of the year. Fantastic athlete for us here, like as you stated, fantastic mentor to a lot of our younger kids. As a junior, he was the player of the year in basketball, and we're off to an 8-2 start in basketball, and Johnny's the engine that kind of makes our team go in basketball, but we're here to recognize him for football, and he had a fantastic year. He was named yesterday to the Division IV All-State team. He was named about a month ago to the top 26, with the 26 best players in the state, the All-State team. One of our team MVPs, one of our captains, Boston Globe All-Scholastic, just had a fantastic, got to score a touchdown at Gillette Stadium, as did Benny Christopher. Just a fantastic year for Johnny Sullivan, and I can't say enough about what he does in the building and how he treats younger kids. And fantastic. He's a good role model. He's a great teammate. He's a leader in our building. So I know Kayla has a couple things to say about Johnny.
Come on up, Johnny.
All right, so we have a recognition and proclamation, whereas Jonathan Sullivan was voted the Merrimack Valley Conference Player of the Year, and whereas Jonathan Sullivan was named Tewksbury Football Team Most Valuable Player, and whereas Jonathan Sullivan is Tewksbury Memorial High School all-time leader in interceptions, and whereas Jonathan Sullivan was named Boston Globe All-Scholastic. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Tewksbury School Committee applauds, honors, and recognizes the many efforts of Jonathan Sullivan as an athlete and student at Tewksbury Memorial High School. Congratulations.
We'll do this next recognition, and then we'll bring you both up for a picture, okay?
All right, Coach Aylward, known this guy for a long time. We started coaching together around the same time as younger coaches and got to build a friendship with Brian. And as I kind of changed my position over to athletic director, got to work hand in hand and watch what he does with kids as a football coach. And he's a fantastic coach. He's a fantastic role model in our building. The football team had an unbelievable year. Brian picked up his 200th career win. I did a little bit of, he's currently sitting, I think, at 209. I did a little research. I have him in the top 30 all time in Massachusetts in wins, and the guys in front of him are significantly in their late 60s and early 70s. So if he keeps at it, he's going to keep crawling up that board. Leader, role model, MVC Coach of the Year, does everything in this building. He's the heartbeat of the building. Fantastic guy, fantastic coach. Does an awesome job. I can't say enough good things about him. He runs this place as far as getting kids involved. And I thought Mr. Regan made a great point. Inclusion. He includes everybody in the building. Fantastic role model. Better friend. Kate, Mrs. Henderson, please.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah.
Whereas Brian Aylward was voted the Merrimack Valley Conference Coach of the Year, and whereas Brian Aylward picked up his 200th career win this season and currently sits with his 209th win, and whereas Brian Aylward was named Boston Globe Coach of the Year, and whereas Brian Aylward has completed his 29th season as Tewksbury Memorial High School football coach, now therefore be it proclaimed that the Tewksbury School Committee applauds, honors, and recognizes the many efforts of Brian Aylward as a coach and leader at the Tewksbury Memorial High School.
And Brian, do you have anything you'd like to share about the program at all? And not to put you on the spot, because it's
Put me on the spot.
I had a great year.
I really appreciate you taking the time to recognize, more importantly, the students that have achieved at such a high level. And Johnny, being the only one here, it's kind of fitting. He was kind of like the heartbeat of our team, and really, what a tremendous achievement among that list of achievements that you just heard about. The Super 26. takes from all 300 and something teams in the state of Massachusetts, and they're going to put 26 kids on that team for all divisions. And to land on that team is a really special thing for us as a program to have a kid land on that. And certainly, you know, I think most people that I'll bump into that know football, that have followed us, tremendous following and support that we get all the time here. I think that that's what makes Tewksbury special. I think it's a special place to be able to coach. You know, the heartbreaking end of that game is an easy thing to remember, but the fact that what these guys achieved since 1935, I'm a bit of a historian with the football, at least for sure. There's only been 2 teams that have reached 12 wins in a season since 1935. And like most teams didn't have the opportunity to play as many games, but since the era of the playoffs and that kind of thing, it's doable, and that's a tremendous achievement in itself. So even you know, getting to Gillette is just a special thing. It's the goal of every kid that plays football in the state of Massachusetts, and these guys put on a good show, and the other team did too. You know, 2 really good teams. So we're proud to be a part of it and represent Tewksbury, you know, on the big stage. So I appreciate everybody's efforts here. This is a tremendous. I'm grateful. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we'd love to have you up for a photo, and thank you so much for all you do for Tewksbury, for what you do for students, and you know, I couldn't be more proud speaking for the community of Tewksbury, the program, and Johnny, thank you so much for representing Tewksbury. You do a nice job.
I think Jason's going to right up against that blue background. Awesome. Nice. Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Congratulations. Maggie.
Congrats, BA.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, you're welcome. See you later.
Thank you, guys.
You got to follow that.
Congratulations, Brian.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
I'm hibachi.
Okay, guys, so next we have Maggie's here with us today. And Maggie, I see you wearing your DECA.
Yeah.
So it's a big week for DECA, so we're ready for your updates.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I hope you all had a happy holiday season. I'm glad to be back to give my first report of 2026. Start the night off, I have the latest on Team HS clubs. DECA just finished their busiest week of the year, taking 95 students to UMass Lowell on last Wednesday, for an in-person testing event. Then both yesterday and today was the program's district competition, where over 100 students spent the day on the UMass Lowell campus to either present their written project or role plays. Results on the teams and individuals moving on to the state competition will be announced this upcoming Friday. She's the first is starting the year off with the Flurry for Compassion fundraiser, selling a suggested donation of $1 snowflakes. The proceeds will go to the Tewksbury Food Pantry. Finally, in clubs, the Team HS Theater Company winter show I Hate Shakespeare is January 30th and 31st. The whole cast and crew hopes to see you there. Next is the Team HS Sports update. The winter sports season has had tremendous success so far for Team HS Athletics, with 3 of our teams making an appearance in the division's top 10 in the power rankings. Girls ice hockey, currently undefeated with a 9-0 record, are in 4th place in Division 1, Boys basketball with an 8-2 record sit at third in Division III, and boys ice hockey, who are also undefeated, are holding strong at second place in Division II. Besides the team achievement this winter, there has been a couple of individual accolades accomplished by athletes. Samantha Ryan, Red Ranger assistant captain, reached the 50-point milestone this past week, while both Jack Lightfoot and Sean Callahan, senior wrestling captains, surpassed 100 wins. And last but not least, Tyler Bourget, senior captain, became the Team HS hockey program's all-time leading point and goal scorer, sitting at 69 goals and 149 points with plenty of season left. And finally, the miscellaneous news. The second quarter ends next Friday, signaling the end of first semester half-year courses. Students will come back to school on Monday the 26th with a couple of new classes on their schedule. While for the seniors in the building, quarter 3 means they are one step closer to graduation, with senior projects just on the horizon. And that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Maggie. Any questions for Mag?
Yeah, another busy month.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Mag.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. And next, we don't have any presentations for tonight. Citizens Forum. Not seeing anybody here with us tonight for that. And approval of minutes. Mr. Cutlass, are you prepared for the approval of minutes?
Oh, yeah, I make a motion to approve the Cleveland School Committee meeting minutes of December 17, 2025.
A second.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and that's unanimous. And submission and payment of bills.
Okay, I'll move the payroll for the period ending December 16, 2025, in the amount of $1,737,029.83.
I'm sorry, is that
The date was incorrect on that.
December 18th, I think?
Oh, yeah, December 18th.
Okay, okay. Okay, so a motion for the December 18th, 2025, in the same amount, $1,737.29.
No.
$29.83, I'm sorry.
I will second.
Okay, a motion by Mr. Cutlass, a second by Mrs. Viajoni Smith. How do you vote, Mr. Moncada?
Aye.
Mrs. Anderson?
Aye.
And Mr. Cutlass?
Aye.
Okay, Ms. Viajoni Smith?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well for unanimous vote.
Okay, I'll move the payroll for the period ending December 31, 2025, the amount of $1,750,089.95.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Cutlass, second by Mrs. Biagioni Smith to approve and certify the payroll period ending December 31st, 2025, total amount of $1,750,089.95. Mr. Moncada, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Cutlass?
Aye.
Mrs. Biagioni Smith?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well for unanimous vote. And now for our superintendent and staff reports. Mrs. Terry O'Regan.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm excited to share with you that our kindergarten students participated in a weather presentation from NBC's Boston's meteorologist Tevin Wooten yesterday. This is the second year in a row Tevin has presented to our kindergarten students in connection to their EL Language Arts module on weather. We are very thankful to both Tevin and our PAC, our PAC, for bringing this real-life career science engagement that integrates what the students are learning in the class. So you can see some of the videos and pictures up on the district's Facebook page. It's budget season officially when December hits, so I just want to inform you that myself, Dr. Milligan, and of course Mr. Libby have been meeting with each of our principals and department leads to discuss staffing needs and school needs as we plan our budget for the next school year. In this process, we also met with Town Manager Don Curran, Assistant Town Manager Robert Maynard, and Town Finance Director Al Rigo this past Monday to walk through a preliminary look at our school budget needs. We'll continue to work together with the Town Manager to establish our FY27 budget for the January 28th budget workshop. Mr. Libby can further detail his process and progress a bit further in his updates. In your packet, you have an update from the Valley Collaborative in your consent agenda. And this packet includes the Valley Collaborative's quarterly reports on collaborative business for FY26 second quarter. You have their newsletter, treasurer report, interim statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net assets, their approved budget and tuition rates, and the annual report, annual independent audit, and capital plan. Again, your affirmative vote of the consent agenda acknowledges receipt of these documents and reports. Also in your consent agenda, you have some personnel items that I want to take a brief moment to detail, as these personnel matters will require your vote for us to move forward and plan for these replacements. You have the official brief statement of my retirement effective June 30th, 2026 in the consent agenda, as well as David Libby, School Business Manager, has a planned effective retirement date of December 5th, 2026. Dave was hired, I'll do a little brief bio for Dave, and certainly save many comments for later in the year. But Dave was hired 30 years ago in 1996, serving as an assistant business manager, transportation and facilities manager, and currently our business manager, where he still fulfills all of those roles aforementioned. So Dave plans to stay with us through at least the Thanksgiving of this calendar year, 2026, but wants us to have plenty of time to plan for his departure. John Weir, principal of the Wynn Middle School, has an effective date of retirement for June 30th, 2026 as well. John was hired in 1994, serving Tewksbury students for 32 years by the end of this school year. First, he was hired as an English language arts teacher here at the high school, then assistant principal at the Wynn, and currently the Wynn Middle School principal. Maria Doherty at the Ryan Elementary School provided us with her intent to retire in on December 15th, 2028. I know this notice is certainly far in advance, but it is submitted in time for Ms. Doherty to benefit from the incentive allowed in the Secretary's contract if she gives this 3-year notice. Okay. With your approval, at a former meeting, we have currently posted for the Director of Student Family Support as Ms. Baker O'Brien will also be retiring at the end of the school year. And as I said, with your affirmative vote tonight on the consent agenda, I will be able to begin the process and search for our next Wynn Middle School principal, and then begin the business manager search near the end of the school year. So again, I'll reserve any lengthy goodbyes for all of these folks for June, as we still have much work to do together. Our facilities assessment and study continues to move forward. This group, we have a facility study group, as you know, representing all of our stakeholders, various stakeholders in the district. About 50 members are on this team, including staff, administration, students, parents, and you as well, Madam Chair, engaging in sessions to help illustrate and inform our consultants, JCJ, who are doing the facilities assessment, what is truly important to our school community and town, and thinking through our school building planning. Our next visioning session is on January 27th. Additionally, we have planned a session during the school day with both middle school and high school students on February 5th. I will continue to update you in this process. In your packet is a letter for Valentine's for Veterans. It's that time of year where we reach out to all of our schools, students in grades K through 12. This is something I'm very proud of. We have our students show some love and in honoring and saluting our hospitalized veterans by creating Valentines. So Jimmy Williams and members of the VFW Post 8164 deliver the cards to the patients. Again, this is just a wonderful way for our students to give back to the many veterans that have given their health and well-being for all of us. I want to give you an update to our constant just security updates and support for our districts from the IT team. We have some email updates to improve our email communications. All emails sent from Tewksbury Public Schools, our Gmail account, starting on January 20th, will include instructions in the footer on how to translate content in different languages. You'll see that pop into the automatic signature on Monday. Additionally, we have purchased a new application that will assist us in efficiently and securely onboard and offboard users of our Google platform in digital devices. One feature of this application is will serve the Tewksbury Public Schools is the standardizing of the user icons on the Gmail accounts. So I know, Mr. Mercado, you already heard about this a little bit at our JLM. This will certainly make it easier to identify senders and recipients at a glance. For example, our staff will have one color it'll be the red Tewksbury T with a white circle, and students will have a red background with a white T. So if you think about that, if you're sending out an email and you see all those icons and they're white and it's intended to go to the staff, that's great. If you see a red circle, we're going to know really quickly a student is on that email. And we'll reserve other colors for other groups that we may need in the future. So we will be informing all of our families, students, and staff members tomorrow via email, and then in all of the newsletters on Friday, that they'll see this change on Tuesday. Okay. The Massachusetts School Building Authority has a process called post-occupancy evaluation. This is module number 9 of the School Building Authority's process. It was developed in part to assist the MSBA in understanding that state-funded K-12 school building projects are operating as intended and performing as designed. This process includes a pre-visit planning session that we've already participated in, an online survey for CES stakeholders of all groups, and a site visit, which Principal Harding and I will be hosting with the MSBA on February 6th. From this process, there will be a summary results and report shared. The data and feedback collected as part of the post-occupancy evaluation process enables MSBA, school districts, and the consultant community to apply lessons learned to future school building projects, which is good for all of us. And with that, Madam Chair, that concludes my updates for tonight.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on the update?
I had one. With regard to Dave retiring,
Yes.
you said you were going to start the search when?
We will, because school business managers are a small pool, we'll be putting that out in the spring. And networking as well, because Dave will be leaving, and I'm speaking as you're not in the room, but he is. Obviously, we'll network with MASBO and with our community, because there are assistant business managers that may be looking and won't know that this position will be opening mid-year. So we'll start that process. As I said, we're going to first secure our Director of Student and Family Support, let's hope, knocking on wood. We obviously have to look for a Wynn Middle School principal and also post for school business manager. So we'll do it in that order, at least right now.
Okay. I just don't want to miss out, right? If there's candidates for other towns and
Well, and
things
that's
that are going on, we want to make sure we're...
certainly why we appreciate that we have the advance notice for a mid-year retirement.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was it?
Any questions, comments?
No, also thank you.
I am too. Thank you for the update.
You're welcome.
Okay, Dr. Milliken.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It was nice to end the year with all the student events last month, from the Wind Band concert and holiday events to the boys basketball team winning the Romano tournament over the break for the 3rd straight year in a row. One of my favorite events, though, was the 2nd annual TMHS and CS art collaboration. Again this year, under the direction of Ashley Sullivan, Nicole LaPierre, and Jen Barbady, our third grade students at CES designed monsters who were then sent to our high school students to bring to life with either ceramics and or felt. All students did a wonderful job. In our district newsletter this Friday, you will see a video that we'll be sharing of this event. The collaboration between the schools is a testament to Mrs. Sullivan, who envisioned this project and brought it to life in our district. So a special thank you goes out to her for that wonderful opportunity. Upcoming events, the rescheduled, as Maggie has shared. Band and Chorus Winter Concert will be tomorrow, Thursday, January 15th, starting at 5, and the All-Town Band Concert beginning at 6:30. And also, as Maggie has already shared, on January 30th and 31st, the TMHS Drama will host the winter show, I Hate Shakespeare. Next, in your consent agenda, there's one update to the MCAS testing calendar. The 8th grade state civics MCAS test has been moved to Wednesday, May 26th and Thursday, May 27th, as it was originally planned for Friday, which is an early release date for the district. So staff and students will have an early release day on that day, so we have shifted the MCAS testing for our civics exam back to the Wednesday and Thursday of that week. And that is all that I have for my report tonight.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
No.
No.
I don't have any either. Thank you. And Mr. Libby.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. So as Superintendent mentioned, we are heavily involved in the FY27 budget process at this point. still have a few important meetings to finish up to get to a kind of a final place where we'll be ready to present in a couple weeks our preliminary budget and work with the town to come to a figure that everyone can live with. We discussed with the town manager and finance director on Monday, our sort of new need for, if we have any capital type projects that will need funding, those would be presented via warrant article as opposed to our capital outlay budget that we've kind of had to raid to move into our general operating budget. But we kind of laid the foundation that those may be coming. Given the state of our facilities committee, we're not going to get too, I don't think, involved in any major projects before that study is done and that work becomes apparent what our building needs are. But things that are, pressing that we know need to be done right away, we'll be funding in that fashion as opposed to our capital outlay budget. And that seemed to be well received to move forward in that manner. As far as personnel goes, we're keeping the needs of our, special education pathways plan that we've tried to develop between the schools, keeping those plans in mind, making sure we efficiently staff those programs, and if we need to move any staffing or increase staffing levels, decrease staffing levels, whatever, as students move around. We're trying to keep that exercise in place as well. And that'll be an ongoing, I think, exercise as we go through the whole budget process. But we'll have a good idea of where we'll be by our budget workshop that's scheduled for the 28th. We recently visited our DPW and school maintenance facility on Whipple Road. Got to see our maintenance guys are officially moved in there. The facility is very nice. It's a huge upgrade. Can't even compare it to the place that the DPW was in before. Nice. We have our guys have a nice large open area for a workshop with storage areas up above, 3 offices in there for 2 maintenance foreman, assistant foreman, and then an open area for the staff that if they need to get on a computer and order something. So nice. It's a nice area. We saw the garage bay where they're storing all of our vehicles. So our vehicles will be stored overnight indoors. Hopefully increase the life expectancy of our fleet going forward. So it was nice to finally get over there and see those guys in their new place. And seems very cooperative relationship with the DPW people that are in there as well. We do some things they don't do necessarily, and they do a lot that we don't do necessarily. So it's been a good fit so far. For those guys that have moved in over there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah.
Questions or comments?
No.
Just a question on the capital outlay. I had thought that we had kind of zeroed that out last year to balance out the budget. But is that going to be what you see moving forward? Is that we won't have a capital outlay budget anymore? We'll just address those as they come through town meeting and warrants?
Yeah, we didn't. We tried to leave some of our capital outlay. We had used to use that for sort of a $200,000, I think we set aside for material, textbook, computer replacement year over year that we know generally has to happen. So we tried to leave that intact. So we do plan on leaving the 250 $100,000 in the capital outlay budget, so not completely down to zero, but just if it will mostly be earmarked for those types of purchases, tech purchases and textbooks and materials.
Can you, last year, I really appreciated the table that you had of what the capital projects upcoming
Yeah.
that would be needed, and can we just put a priority on those so we can see like what's gonna really break
Yeah.
next year and we're gonna have to address it, or it's a nice to have and we may have to push it off?
Definitely, sure.
Thank you. That was it for me.
Needs and wants.
Yeah,
Well, and again, that facilities assessment study is
Yep.
going to inform us as well.
right.
Yeah.
Right, that's why I just wanna, but nothing's gonna happen on that for a couple of years.
Short
I
and
just
long
wanna see
term,
like
right.
next year, what's gonna have to get done. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Cutlass, any questions, comments?
No, Madam Chair, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Moncada?
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
No, nothing really to add, other than I do appreciate the attention to the sped pathway moving forward and trying to just be mindful of what the cost in that might be. I think that has kind of been a concern that I've had too as well. I think as that some of that expands and looking to maybe the staffing needs for that. So I'm looking forward to kind of hearing what that might look like from your perspective.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. Now, correspondence and informational topics. We've covered the letter from the Tewksbury VFW. Good on that? Any questions there? No? Consent agenda. We do need a vote on that. Are there any questions, comments on the consent agenda?
No,
No.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, I'll take that as a roll call vote, considering the Valley budget acknowledgement is on there as well. So, Mr. Cutlass, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Moncada?
Aye.
Mrs. Anderson?
Aye.
And Ms. Biagioni Smith?
Aye.
Okay, and I vote aye as well for unanimous vote. Thank you very much. Now, moving on to school committee member reports, starting with the CPAC. That would be Mrs. Biagioni Smith and Mrs. Anderson.
Their regular business meeting is tomorrow evening, so one of us will have an update
Okay,
next time.
Yep.
all right. And Wellness Advisory Committee?
Next meeting's in February, so.
Okay. And School Facility Study Committee. I think Mrs. Terry Regan covered kind of an update there with the JCJ, and we did not have our meeting last week, so I don't think we really have much more to update than we did back in December, unless Mr. Cutlass or Ms. Terry Regan, if there's anything else you wanted to add.
Just that our next meeting is February 12th.
Okay.
I'm all set.
Okay. Okay, and Policy Subcommittee, we have a meeting
Next week,
next week.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, yep. And our last meeting was canceled, I think it was the 23rd of December, and it was just a little tight.
Yeah, it was. The weather was a little funny too.
We had some things that came up, and the meeting just didn't happen, so that did get canceled with the town. So our apologies, but so our agenda coming up next week will be exactly the same as it was on the 23rd. So that brings us now to policy changes, proposals, and adoption. So it's a little lighter than it has been, given we didn't meet, but informational reading, reviewed and/or revised, we don't have any. Our first reading, reviewed and/or revised, we have JCA, professional staff positions, JCCAB, teacher request for a leave of absence to accept an administrative position, JCCAE, staff conference attendance, JCEC, Appendix B positions, recruiting, positions of vacancies, JCK, professional staff assignments and transfers, JJE-E, request for fundraising. Any questions or comments here?
I'm just gonna make one point of interest, I think they're Gs, right? All the ones before, instead of Js, just a
Correct, yes.
tiny matter
5 Gs and 1 J.
of, okay. I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll come back next month for a final reading and looking for a vote. Second and final reading, reviewed and or revised, and this is up for motion and a vote today. JRD, student photographs. JBEBC, gifts and solicitations by staff. KBE, relations with parent advisory council and booster organizations. Questions or comments there? Nope. Okay.
So I'll motion to approve JRD. We're doing this singly and one at a time? A slate. Do it as slate? Okay, so motion to approve JRD student photographs, GBEBC, gifts to students, gifts to and solicitations by staff, KBE, relations with parent advisory council and booster organizations.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion by Mr. Moncada, second by Mrs. Anderson, and all in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, sounds unanimous, and that's great. So we have 3 policies that have been approved tonight, and if we can kind of get that communicated out to the community, the school community as well, that would be great, so that, we can kind of keep that information updated to our staff and the PACs as well.
Yeah, and we, as you are aware, have begun the practice of every policy that's updated at these meetings then enters into our district newsletter for both staff and families. So the information is published, but it's also informed through the newsletter.
Great, thank you so much. I think that was kind of speaks to our goals too. So old business, we have our district goals mid-year check-in. I think we've kind of had a nice pace of our meeting, and now we're going to slow things down.
We are.
The junior high dance, we're going to have the Stairway to
It's a
Heaven.
slow dance now. Well, Madam Chair and members of the committee, thank you for giving us the opportunity to highlight our mid-year progress on the district strategic plan for school year 25-26. You will hear me use that acronym DSP at times. I'll try to avoid the acronym. And my apologies, we do realize that the bulbs here on the projectors are a bit dim. So you have the packet online as well. You're going to see a lot of text up on the screen. Again, my apologies, and we're looking at changing out those bulbs. So before we begin to review the progress tracker for our strategic plan, I'd like to reiterate how privileged and proud I feel to lead such an outstanding Tewksbury Public Schools team as your superintendent, both within our school community, but also within our town. Additionally, as you have observed firsthand, the role of superintendent is very complex, and it cannot be a successful one without such a strong team. And we are fortunate to have that remarkable team here in Tewksbury, from our students and families to our faculty and staff, our administration, and our school committee members like yourselves. So I'm proud to know that our evidence shared with you from our district-wide team shows our shared focus on the 4 district goals, which guided our professional practice goals, student learning goals, and overall district improvement goals and efforts. Can move to the next slide. Okay, Dr. Milligan and I will partner in sharing the progress towards our actionable steps for the school year 25-26 within our multi-year strategic plan. As a reminder, strategic planning is dynamic. It's a multi-year commitment. This slide revisits the deliberate shift in our focus in the last 4 years of our strategic planning. This progression reflects our dedication to evidence-based decision-making, ensuring our current priorities align with the most recent student performance needs, professional practice needs, and organizational and school facility needs. After our deep data dive and data-driven analysis of our district needs, our 4 priority goals for the 25-26 school year are improving our data-driven decision-making and analysis practices for our schools, classrooms, and students. Goal 2, a priority goal 2, strengthening instructional supports in our Tier 1 instructional model and special education programming. Goal 3, improving our school facilities for current short-term and long-term needs. And goal number 4, continued improvement in our communications effort for all TPS stakeholders. Our 4 priority goals have one core goal, and that is to develop the key skills and improve success rates for all learners. As we shared back in August, and still contend our 4 goals do not live independently, but they are interconnected, all leading toward our students' well-being and achievement. Again, the core of why we do what we do for the students. As a quick review, each of the 4 priority goals also have key objectives. Those objectives were developed with our entire district leadership team and then with feedback of many TPS staff members over the summer, and all faculty members at the start of our school year had an opportunity to give us feedback. Aligned to each of the objectives are several actionable steps, the plan in meeting the objectives and ultimately our goals. So tonight, we'll be sharing the progress associated with those actions. With that, I will begin with our goal number 1. This goal, again, is intended to strengthen the professional practice for all staff in Tewksbury Public Schools. This goal has 4 major objectives that leads one into the next. It's a progressive goal, if you will. You can see that we are 50% complete on the first objective, and that is to assess and audit our national, state, and local normed screeners. Our upcoming work is to assess the gaps and create a plan to fill those gaps where normed assessments do not exist or need to be improved. We have made significant progress in Objective 1.2 as well. That addresses our shared understanding of common assessments. We're auditing our actual assessments used in classrooms and in subject areas, and then the further development of those assessments at every grade level. This is the necessary work for us to fully build our analysis skills in Objective 1.3 that ultimately leads to an improved instructional cycle for improved student learning. You can go to the next slide. As you can see in goal number 1, it's more of a connected and progressive goal. As I said, objectives 1.3 and 1.4 will span over the end of this school year and into school year 27 and 28. School year 28. Dr. Milligan is now going to highlight the priority goals progress in goal number 2.
Tonight I want to share our progress on what may be our most important and most comprehensive and ambitious priority, ensuring that every student in Tewksbury has access to excellent instruction and the support they need to succeed, both academically and emotionally. This is heavy, complex work that requires a multi-year commitment, but it's absolutely essential to our mission of serving all learners. In Objective 2.1, which focuses on our social emotional foundation, we are building district-wide SEL support because students can't focus on academics when they're struggling emotionally. When students develop strong social emotional skills, we see better behavior, attendance, relationships, and academic performance. We've made 49% progress over all of our sub-actions. Some of our high priority wins so far are our high school staff have been trained in our teen mental health training, allowing our trained high school staff to recognize and respond to student mental health needs. SEL committee has launched coordinating district-wide approach with some measurable goals, and our K-1 curriculum implementation has helped our youngest learners develop foundational skills within our unified arts community and not have those opportunities. What's next is our SEL Council will continue to work on identifying needs and funding sources to support areas within the district, and the district will continue to support the ongoing coaching and support for school teams in implementing SEL. Our goal is to have every student receiving consistent evidence-based SEL instruction and/or support surrounded by trained adults who can support their emotional needs. Objective 2.2 focuses on high-quality math instructional materials. We are reviewing the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education's high-quality curriculum material guidance along with our K-12 math curriculum to ensure all students have access to high-quality materials and instructional practices. We're about 13% of the way complete by first establishing a math curriculum review council with teachers and administrators, but please note that this is going to be a 2-year initiative and will be ending in 2027. So we're right on schedule. But the key win that we have to focus on here is really looking at that math curriculum review council has been established with teacher inputs and administrators from all levels. Objectives 3, 4, and 5 really address, they all address systems and practices to strengthen instruction. Through these three actions, we are proactively addressing student needs in the classrooms to help reduce our referral rates and the over-identification of students. While in aggregate we're about 27% complete, we know that the goal is always to be removing those systematic barriers to create inclusive classroom environments for all students. The through line of these three priorities really focuses on educational equity, but together, all five objectives explicitly focus on ensuring all students receive equitable access to social emotional supports and systems, high-quality standards-aligned instructional materials, and then appropriate academic and behavioral interventions to be successful. Priority Goal 2, if you don't mind, thank you, really represents our most comprehensive commitment to instructional excellence and student support. We're simultaneously strengthening our social emotional foundation where students need to learn, ensuring that they have access to the highest quality curriculum materials and building those systems to support every learner. This, again, I will continue to say, is the most complex part of our strategic plan and is a multi-year work. We're making strong, steady progress, and by the end of this work, we'll have transformed both what we teach and how we support our students in learning it. I'm proud of the progress our teams have made, and I look forward to sharing continued updates as this critical work unfolds. But please know that there's a lot of pre-work that has to happen to really dig into the priorities and Priority Goal 2. And on that note, I'm going to kick it back to Mrs. Terry Regan.
So we, as you know, the blue goal is our professional practice goal district-wide. Green goal is our student learning and growth goal, and now we're moving into the two district improvement goals. I'm going to illustrate our progress on priority goal number 3, which focuses on improving and further securing our facilities, our school facilities. This goal has 3 major objectives. Objective 3.1 addresses all of our current facilities to plan effectively and strategically for educational and building needs and growth. Objective 3.2 aims to strengthen and improve our technology infrastructure, safety and security, and as well, and Objective 3.3 aims to assessing and strengthening our safety and security building needs and processes. We have made significant progress on Objective 3.1 and are on track as expected in the plan. Action 1 and 2 are complete, and Action 3, the visioning sessions, as I talked about in my updates with the consultant, are almost complete. In fact, there's been updates since you've received this. We have the student visioning session, and soon, hopefully, the community and senior center visioning. JCJ, our consultant, will write a final report, and in March, share that with the Tewksbury School Facility Study Committee, you, the school committee, and also to the select board, so that informed final recommendations as to how we move forward with our school buildings can be made. The next slide. Objective 3.2 as well is almost complete. We have implemented the network and life cycle refresh process. We're executing the device life cycle and refresh process, actively and formally enhancing and adapting improved security procedures and protocols like we shared with you on our email security procedures. Objective 3.3, our local and homeland security audits have been completed and presented to the district leadership team and to the district security team. As you can see, new equipment has already, including our voice over IP phone systems, been installed at the Heathbrook and Dewing as a result. We are actively working on actions 3, 4, and 5, which will require some time to prioritize solutions from the identified audit needs, then time to fund, educate, execute, and systemize those recommendations and improve protocols. Again, while much progress has been made, the facility study and long-term planning for current building needs will in large part be contingent on funding these building enhancements. We'll certainly prioritize the immediate needs and that low-hanging fruit or free priorities that we can, like the telephone systems and some grant-related vape detectors at the high school. This priority goal will require an adapting multi-year approach.
And then finally, Priority Goal 4, effective communication. Effective communication isn't just about sending out information, but it's about building trust, ensuring transparency, and creating genuine partnerships with our community. I want to share how we're strengthening our communication systems to ensure every family, staff member, community stakeholder has clear, consistent access to the information that they need about our schools. We're working on 2 connected priorities. First, creating formal structures for ongoing dialogue with our advisory bodies, particularly around major district initiatives like SEL, curriculum implementation, and educational programming. And second, we're looking to conduct a comprehensive audit of all of our communication systems to identify gaps and improve how we share this information. So first, we established and we're strengthening our district advisory council, along with other councils, to create regular structured opportunities to provide input on major district decisions, such as our Math Council, SEL Council, and our Educational Program Improvement Council. These councils bring together teachers, administrators, and any community members with expertise in specific areas. By creating formal communication channels, we look to ensure that decisions about curriculum, special education, student support programs are informed by the people closest to the work. This isn't just about checking a box. It genuinely is about inviting stakeholder voices into our planning process. As you can see, we are making good progress across this first objective regarding the councils, with systems established and in place. Objective 4.2 focuses on the assessing and improving our communication systems. That we're trying to ensure that messages that we send are clear, accessible, consistent, and reaching everyone who might need them. Our team has begun the work on some of the communication systems in place, and we are beginning to work on our upcoming communication audit scheduled to go out in April for future input. Through these two objectives, we hope to provide families, staff, and students better pathways for not only accessible communication, but also stakeholder voice in decision-making. Strong communication is the foundation of strong schools, and we're not just improving how we send messages, but we're trying to build genuine two-way relationships with our educational community. By establishing formal advisory structures and systematically evaluating our communication systems, we're trying to ensure that every stakeholder has a voice and access to the information that they need. I look forward to sharing the results of our communication audit with you this summer and implementing improvements that will strengthen our partnerships with family and staff.
Okay. If we go to the next slide. Okay, it's a little hard to see. I think you have it digitally as well. As you can see, we've made significant progress in each of our priority goals. That red percentage that's on the screen represents an average of all the goals' objectives progress thus far. Many of the planned, as you saw, there's several actions under each objective. That's the average of completion. Many of the planned strategic actions have been completed, and we are still working towards others. We have obviously several months to continue our work this school year. While a district strategic plan cannot fully document the progress the district is making in every capacity, it does focus on those priorities that best align to our daily operations with a shared educational vision. Our focus remains on sustaining professional culture of high expectations and continuous learning to ensure all students are prepared for success. Moving forward, we're committed to using these standards, data-driven instructional leadership, operational efficiency, and community engagement to drive measurable outcomes. We will continue to refine our practices and resolve challenges in the best interest of all of our students as we continue the work of these priority goals. So at this time, I certainly welcome your questions and comments, whether on the progress we've made so far or the new tracking mechanism. I hope it's helpful. I am certain by the end of the year, you will see much more progress and many more samples of evidence in each of those objectives.
Thank you. Okay. Questions or comments? Who'd like to go first?
I have a question, a couple. That last page, I don't think we had that one
Oh, okay.
in our slides. If we could get a copy of that one, that would be great.
Absolutely.
So I have a question, a more general question about the track. I like the tracking. I think this is easier to follow than the one we got over the summer in the big packet. I have one suggestion, and I know it's busy already. Just because I'd be curious to track or keep an eye on your projected end date for some of these goals versus what your actual end date is if it slips past this expected date of closure. And then that way we can kind of tell if something has shifted its dates versus having to go back and forth. There's only one that I could find on here that said it had an end date in 2025 and it wasn't checked. So does that mean it didn't happen possibly? I can tell you which line item it was under, objective 2.3. It's the very first one on the top. Sure. P2.03. My eyes are bad.
Nope, no worries.
4.
2.3.
Yep. It's the very first one. So it had a start date of 6/30/25 and an end date of 10/30/25. But it just doesn't have a check mark.
It does just need a check mark.
just needs
That's
a-
already exists. That's
Yeah,
established,
so-
and I can actually link the evidence for
Okay,
you.
so that's where kind of my question was gonna go, is that if something does slip past that expected end date, it would be helpful to know. That way it's something we could ask what's taking it, what's causing the delay, or is there something that is needed to help move it along?
And that's part of our process, Kayla, I'm glad you bring that up. We had it coded that it would start highlighting those dates if we'd gone past that date, obviously, and then we encoded it in order to copy for you, and we obviously missed one because we meet with the leads to each of these objectives. There's leads, there's, groups, and there's leads to each of the goals, and then there's leads to each of the objectives as well, just to really collectively, where are we, what's our evidence, let's link that. So it's been a wonderful process. We get better every year. As I said, it takes a really good team. It can't be done alone, and no one could do all of this work alone. It takes a really dedicated team, and that we have. With that, I just want to talk a little bit, too, about one thing, if you don't mind, that you can't really capture here, is each of those communication councils have been giving those updates now at their own schools. And that's really empowering. And that's what we want, is that they're stepping up not only to join the committee and listen, and it's been an evolution. Not all of the communication teams are functioning at the same capacity yet, but it is a really wonderful evolution for their decision making. And we see after this year of this, that'll only get better because they'll give us the feedback as to where we go moving forward, like a school council does. And we're just really pleased with that engagement from so many, and I hope it continues.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think that this is a tremendous amount of work that's been done. I think if you look at some of the boxes that are checked, you can see, where we've gone, where we've come from and where we've gone. I think that tracking mechanism to tell if anything passes is the only thing I could.
And we cut that big long 3-year, those bars off for your
Right.
package. But Dave, can you just put the percentage slide,
Yeah.
oh yes, that's it. It's just so hard to see. I'm sorry.
That's a thing. And this is just the page we didn't have, but it is helpful to see, and it is much, I like the line items because you can kind of, drill into what was actually done versus the bigger objective number. So I like it. I think it's great. This is exactly what I was looking for over the summer. So, I think it looks wonderful. I'm all set.
Okay, great. Mrs. Anderson?
Yeah, same thing. For me, I think we had talked after we reviewed the goals with your district leadership team about some of these things that you guys have implemented into here. And it's super helpful for us that we're not in the day-to-day to understand exactly where you are. So having that person responsible, that progress is really helpful. It's a good, solid view for us and the community members that will come in and look at it. So thank you for that. And I think it's just, I'll be excited to look at the end of the year, the objective evidence to say that these things have been done will be good for us to be able to look at too. So I can tell this is a tremendous amount of work from you and your leadership team and everybody throughout the district. And we appreciate the work that's being done there. This is all goals that will support our students and our community, and they're right for our town right now. So I look forward to seeing the continued progress. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. Ms. Moncada?
Yeah, thank you for the information. It's obviously a lot of information, so I'm glad you guys are all on top of it. Are there any concerns about meeting any of the deadlines? Are there some of these are at 0? So we're halfway through the year, right? So
It was audacious, I will say, definitely bold. I don't think you can always move a timeline.
Right.
It's really the expectation that this is important, and if we need to, we will do that.
And to your point, Mr. Mancato, if you're looking at objective 1.3, the items that are at 0% have a survey that we'd like to have analyzed by July of 26, and the rest of the actions go into May of 27.
Sure.
And
So
this is
some of these pieces will go into the next year.
Sure.
My apologies, Dr. Milligan. This is the most linear, progressive of our goals, meaning objective 1 had to happen before we can move to 2, and 2 has to happen before we can move. So it's really one follows the next, where others, as you saw, there are multiple objectives, all leaning to that priority goal, but in different buckets.
If I could too, when we met with the staff in the summertime, that was a big concern. That
Correct.
goal one was a big bite. And the initial thinking was, we can't do this in a year. And Dr. Milligan was good about, nope, we're not going to try to do this in a year. This can't be done in a year. We got to spread this out. So.
Yep, great, thank you.
Great, thank you. And Mr. Cutlass, anything?
No, thank you very much for the information, but mostly, thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. No, I really appreciate how this was laid out this year. I think seeing kind of like what's behind the curtain, I kind of think of this a little bit more. You know, you've always given us a tremendous amount of information. I mean, this is not new to get a lot of information, but the way that it's laid out this way, I think with more timelines, it's just, I like it a lot. And I like being able to kind of dig in a little bit deeper and understand kind of what some of these initiatives are that are happening in the district. So, and then also being able to identify what the initiatives are and what they're kind of tied to. And so I think for anybody that doesn't think that there's an overall strategic plan, it also puts this out in writing.
And that was part of the goal of this.
That the pieces are there.
The tracker was, I mean, what's the phrase? Nothing is obvious to the uninformed, even though we all know, things are happening. This makes it a lot more, or this process makes it more obvious.
I also like that you can see who is working, so it's not a one-person job. You can see the collaboration through there as well, to piggyback on the comments that you're making, that isn't something we always saw. We heard you tell us, but getting to see it is impactful.
Right.
Huge.
Yeah. So I think almost as if there's like a fish line into some of these things. So I appreciate it a lot, and I like the fact that we have a mid-year check-in on this. So it's a little bit different than years past too. So we're evolving. I like it. Thank you. And thank you to the team that you're working with. I know when we met in August, we had just a subset of your bigger team. So if you can get that messaging back to them too, how much we really appreciate the work that you're doing. Because I know, like you say, this is not done in a silo.
Will do.
So thank you. Okay. That was pretty good. All right. Moving on from mid-year check-in. We now have just kind of a quick check-in on some school committee goals that we worked on early in the year. Is there any kind of feedback there on where we're at?
No, I guess for me, it's just, I think we've got to probably look at our listening sessions that we've been doing with the community. I think a couple of them have been well attended. Most times there's nobody. So is there maybe a different way that we can reach people? But I think we're doing the work. We're there. We're open. We're available for the community. I just don't know if they're using it as much as they should be.
Right. Agreed. Agreed. So yeah, I think when it comes to our policy, I think the work that we're doing here with policy to oversee, evaluate, monitor the execution of policies, I think our action steps, I think we're kind of on point there. Communication, like you say, with listening sessions, maybe that's something we can think on and come back on that. And maybe just how we can be more available to the community in a different way.
I have one more on that one that I was going to bring up. I don't know if we were going through them line by line. On communication, I would like to see a better, I think I've mentioned it a couple times, better collaboration with students. I would like to hear more from our students. I know that we have student councils that meet at even the WIN and the high school on a regular basis. I know that they're meeting. I would love to get a little bit closer with our councils, our student councils, whether, I think I mentioned it last time, whether it's bringing them in or engaging with them directly as a guest at their meetings. But I think that's the one under our goal that we we could do a little bit better at.
Good. So listening sessions, student engagement. Katie and Chris, you're both on that subcommittee. Is that something maybe you kind of want to tackle on that a little bit more, or do you think that we should revisit this in a meeting?
I think we should revisit the meeting. That really hasn't gotten off the ground as much as we all wanted it to. So maybe we just.
Okay. All right. So maybe.
Madam Chair, we have a wonderful opportunity potentially coming up, right? If any members of the committee, I'll make sure you know the times, have an opportunity where you want to sit in on the listening session for the facilities stuff, because we want to hear from students, especially those that have been through every grade level. But then I've also, through Madam Chair, if you want like some additional time after that hour is over, just even to talk to the students about, what key attributes do they feel are necessary in their next superintendent, or maybe the voice of the next business manager who makes snow calls. But whatever it is, you want to capture them while they're there. You're welcome to do that if you want to meet individually with that group or as a group. We can set that up.
That's a great idea.
That'd be great. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. Let's start. Okay. Otherwise, I think I'm pretty comfortable with where we're at.
Yeah, the rest, I think we checked all the boxes.
Okay, great. All right, and for new business, we have a school calendar draft to review.
Yeah, Madam Chair, let me get back to my notes so I can share with you. So what you have in front of you is the first draft of our school year 26-27 calendar. We worked with our district leadership team, our principals, our department leads to create the draft, and then I also shared this with our TTA union leaders for their input back in December. They gave us some feedback, and after accepting their most, if not all, of their suggestions and dates based from both TTA and others involved in the calendar building, here we have our first draft. We shared this at the January JLM, Joint Labor Management meeting, and some further suggestions were made. Because those suggestions have not been fully fleshed out and would require some collective bargaining, we are proposing this first draft of our school year calendar right now. It's informational only for your review and potentially a vote at our February school committee meeting. If any changes occur before then, we'll certainly share them with all of you. I do need to give a huge shout out to our executive secretary sitting here in the room, Ms. Suzanne Caliendo, for building the school year calendar. This task is an absolute bear and very tedious with respect to all stakeholders' input and many, many, many different preferences, all the different union contract needs, religious holiday needs, and as I said, just so many different preferences from so many. So Ms. Caliendo not only managed this task amazingly for her first time, she has changed the look of the calendar a little bit in her efforts to make it a little easier to follow. So again, this is informational only. We certainly welcome your feedback after you take some time to review it.
Questions? When do we normally approve this? Is there a date by we normally approve this by?
Right, January,
Like
February.
February?
February is fine.
And obviously we want to do it as soon as possible. With the potential changes,
Yeah.
we think February we might have them. I know there's some discussion has to be had, but.
Well, interestingly, if I can, I'll just detail a little bit of what came up at JLM. We have contractual obligation to not start the teacher school year any earlier than the Monday before Labor Day, which is what we always do. So those are those 2 full PD days. We've discussed this before as a superintendent through committee, and surprisingly, it was brought up, are we interested in discussing starting the PD days the week before? And I reminded the union leaders that we can't do that without bargaining that, because that's, a requirement of the contract. So I said, and they hadn't even checked with their whole membership yet. So if that work is done before February, we certainly will share that with you. But right now, it's important that we get out a first day for students and a last day. We definitely schedule in graduation. And you can see it's a very late school year because Labor Day, it once every, 7 years, it falls on like the 7th day or whatever. So, this is really important. And what we know is we wanted to get those this impacts our register period for report cards. So one follows
Yeah.
the next. So I would suggest that we solidify the calendar by February. And should any mini changes happen, because sometimes people catch that we made a mistake on something, we'll address that. But otherwise, we do want to be clear with families. I mean, ultimately, we haven't even had a chance to share this with the whole townwide pack, so which we always do. So what we'll do is put it in the newsletter, ask for any feedback. I mean, this is how we catch some of the mistakes. We've looked at it a million times, but we may not catch them, or issues with families.
Just a question about something that you said. Are you saying that the TTA was looking to have their professional development days potentially the week before
That was a
the
suggestion.
first week of school?
Right.
And then
Yeah.
would that then push our first day of school
Yes.
back?
It could for students, and
Yeah, the
again,
last
we'd want to survey parents before doing that.
Yep.
We certainly understand the value of extending summer break as long as possible for some, and some ready to send their student back as soon as possible. But, we still have people that are not always happy with us. We start before Labor Day. So we want to be cognizant of everybody's opinion on that
Yep.
before making that major change. It would be a huge cultural shift here in town.
Yep.
I also think if people truly understood that with 5 snow days,
Yeah.
that puts us
Right.
Right.
out of school on June 28th, which is potentially the week, could be somebody's week of 4th of July.
Sure. And you can see with Juneteenth being a Saturday, that Friday is a holiday.
The last day coming back after a 3-day weekend for one day is
Yeah.
I'm not in love with that. I mean, I don't know if we can change that at all. I don't think we can change it at all without moving,
Yeah.
but or maybe we could. I don't know, but that alone is kind of annoying. So if there was some way to fix that, that would be, because people, that 3-day weekend is like it's kicking off their summer. I mean, who's coming back on the 21st?
Right. I will say we have very good attendance on the last days of school.
Right.
Well, they may be
Right.
coming back on the 28th.
Well, there's that too, right? And that's with no snow days, which I mean, who knows what's going to happen?
I think I would be in support of you revisiting this conversation with at least the largest bargaining unit, the TTA, if that's something that they're agreeable to, revisiting that, or visiting it for the first time with other bargaining units, and then also parents.
Parent survey would be necessary, I think, because it is a big change. I mean, people expect to be at their on vacation until that week before Labor Day, right now. And there's usually no risk of that not happening in the summer, right? And so we want to make sure that we're giving people a voice in that.
There still wouldn't be a risk for students. It would be the risk for staff, right?
Unless you have students
Right.
here,
Yeah.
or you are a staff member, is what I'm saying,
Yeah.
in town.
Yeah.
And we were just kicking around all those little details at JLM, and it'll be tedious. But if we feel that that's something really supported within the largest bargaining unit, then we would want to reach out to parents.
Agreed. Okay.
I don't recall, did the leadership say when they were going to get back to us?
I don't recall, and let me just say this too, there's benefits to the district. It's hard to get opening day, PD, keynote speakers, everyone's opening on the same day, so there's some benefits that really assist us in planning our professional development. But no, I'll reach out to them again just to see if they've done any further work on that.
I mean, if we're trying to do this for the next meeting, we're obviously losing time.
It won't be the budget work's it'll be the February meeting. Yeah.
Right.
One other thing too is if we're looking at a 4-day week to start the school year, that's a big
Right.
shift for the little kids.
I honestly, we talked about that. It's nice to gradually come back. 2 days to really build community and culture with your classroom, your team, your schedule, whatever it is. Then 4 days to practice it, if you will. And then the full 5-day week is that next week. That there's some developmental appropriateness to that. And we did talk about that. Would it be a full 4-day week, or would it be a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? And again, I think I'd want parent feedback on that.
I mean, I guess you'd have to then look at seniors are used to going out with their senior project at a certain time. senior projects would go much later,
Everything is a good week later.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Even though their graduation would still be the 11th, I just.
Even that's a week later, right? It's usually
Yeah.
the first week.
So by law, we cannot have graduation any more than 12 days before the last day of scheduled school, including the 5 snow days. So we couldn't go to the 4th.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that you're just looking at a whole lot of other,
Mm-hmm.
other issues because it was late.
What's the impact for that senior project if they have to start a week later? What's the, I just.
I don't think it's an impact, I just think
No.
kids will tell, I think students will tell you it's tradition.
That is true.
But that-
Last thing I can.
I think you're just gonna hear it's not fair. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just
They want snow
imagining what
days
you're
now,
gonna
too.
hear.
Welcome to the work
I'm
world.
hearing I'm hearing all the two sides of everything. So, I don't know, it's tricky. I hear it all, but I'm open to whatever, however this.
I hope you can appreciate, just think of the discussion we just had about all these little details, and they're all pulled together, and we count how many full weeks there are, how many Fridays are, how many Mondays. There's just a lot, and again, my hat is tipped to Ms. Caliendo for managing it so well on her first time.
Yeah, I love the layout.
Nice, thank you.
Mr. Cutlass, any comments on the calendar?
No, thanks, Mr.
Yes.
Kirby.
Okay, thanks. Okay, that was informational only. And then now we have Mr. Libby with a budget transfer request.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Just these are sort of representative of some, actually it's sort of part of the budget process for next year as well, as we look at the current year's trends and where we have some surpluses in accounts and some deficits in some of our accounts, sort of a leveling of those accounts to try to get them even, and it's a great exercise for us to start thinking about where we should be shifting funds as we move into next year. Because a lot of these are impacted by changes in our program that we've noticed as we've got into the year. So, some of the things have been running, some of the accounts rather have been running in the black, some of them have been running in the red, and this is just kind of to level those off and get us to a good starting line as we get into next year's budget season as well. But I don't know if you have any questions on any specifics or any of the rationale or any thing like that. I'd be happy to address those for you.
Okay. Any questions on the transfers?
No.
Mr. Cutlass, you're up. Any questions over there?
No, thanks, Mr. Kirby.
Okay. Okay, no, I appreciate the rationale for each item. It seems pretty self-explanatory to me. So I'm good.
And yeah, since it's a budgetary, it requires a roll call vote, I believe.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget transfer request as presented.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion from Mrs. Bijan Smith, second by Mrs. Anderson, to approve the budget transfer request as presented, and that lists a total salary accounts decreasing by $680,097.67, a total salary accounts increasing by $576,883.93, and total salary of $103,213.74. And then we also have a total operating accounts decreasing of $737,044.72, with the total operating accounts decreasing by $840,258.46, with a total operating of $103,213.74. Okay.
I think we have to take the motion. I can't think of how this works. Should that say total operating accounts increasing by 840, Dave? Sorry, when you read it out loud.
It should.
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay.
Sorry.
With that,
Yep,
so with the,
I'll edit that to total operating accounts increasing by $840,258.46.
so yeah, with that adjustment,
Yep.
same motion.
That makes sense, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I see the typo.
Good thing I'm retiring.
I read it right, but I heard it when you said the words.
Can we just update that in this too?
Yeah.
Yep. And it's in the spreadsheet properly. I just see that the memo's incorrect.
Right.
Okay. So as a roll call vote, how do you vote, Mr. Cutlass?
Aye.
Mr. Moncada?
Aye.
Mrs. Anderson?
Aye.
Mrs. B. Joni Smith?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well for a unanimous vote. Okay. Thank you for the pickup on that. All right. Next, we have, new superintendent search timeline. So if you see your packet, I wanted to put a memo in here for some information. So having heard tonight in our mid-year goals check-in from the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, I'm now feeling much more invigorated and pretty motivated to ensure that the district priorities are met over the next few years. This work that you guys have done has been pretty much all hands on deck. I think, we've had some pretty outstanding leadership, talent, years of historical knowledge, and we're looking at some big roles that are going to need to be filled. And so we're going to have, some pretty hard time filling a lot of these positions. But what I'm proposing tonight, it's included in your packet, it would be a timeline to begin the process with some community outreach to look at and get some support from the community in our process and how we're looking at what kind of attributes and qualities we're looking at in the next superintendent. So before we consider job posting or anything like that, to discuss the scope of work that the superintendent has here in Tewksbury, I'd like to hear from our community, if you guys are all open to that. So I consulted with our legal counsel for clarification on what our obligations are with respect to open meeting law, transparency, and compliance with the hiring process for the superintendent. They've made it clear that they're available to us. If we have any questions, please let me know. Also, MASC is available to us. Any procedural questions that we have while we do this process for getting some feedback. And I'd like for us to consider first defining more of a profile that we can all rely on and refer back to. That'll define our priorities. That'll guide us with consideration to any aspect of the process. So together with community and stakeholder input, our personal thoughts, and being mindful of weighing in the district priorities, the profile should help to unify us and inform stakeholders of our intentions in a very transparent way. So the timeline is pretty aggressive. If you take note, it starts with a survey that will go out tomorrow, a letter shared to families, staff, stakeholders, asking for input on priorities, qualities and attributes that they'd like to see in the next superintendent, a letter that's also asking for volunteers, if they're interested, to please send an email expressing interest to Ms. Caliendo. She'll keep a list for us for individuals who'd like to participate in the process, to support us in whatever capacity we have, a screening and interview process, or however that goes. And that will be determined by us at the next meeting. Next Wednesday, the 21st, we'll have an opportunity to connect with various stakeholders in person. Ms. Terry O'Regan has offered that she meets with the DLT during the day, that we could have some time with them. There's union leads in the afternoon. I sent the letter out to them asking for a roundtable discussion. Posted an open meeting for us to welcome the community to join us and offer thoughts. I'd like your feedback on whether we should have this as an open meeting or just a couple of just us, maybe 2 members. So that's up for discussion tonight. I also have reached out to Maggie Kinnan, our student, to see how much she wants to be involved. I've expressed to her, that she's welcome to be as involved with us or, as she'd like. I encouraged her to participate as a member of a working group, or let me know if she's interested in other ways with the committee. We have our first budget hearing in 2 weeks, and that's on the Wednesday, the 28th. I asked Ms. Caliendo to post a business meeting following that session for us all. We can discuss to revisit the timeline, review the feedback, add our own priorities to define the profile. Unless we find ourselves in an empty meeting on the 21st, I propose which we have in the past, so I propose we could use that time to then discuss our priorities. So, and then finally, on the 28th, at that meeting, we can deliberate on how we want to proceed from there. So, those are my thoughts, and I welcome your feedback.
I think this is a great start to the superintendent search. I think this is a good timeline. It gets us ahead of the game well in advance since we've had that advance notice. So I'm really good with this.
For the public listening session, I think we should make an open meeting.
Yeah.
Because in the event all 5 of us are there, or just 3, right?
Okay.
So,
I have a question about that. If it's an open meeting, there's no back and forth conversation? Is that how that would fall?
So if there's at least 3 of us, it has to be an open meeting. And it's a school committee meeting. We post it as a business meeting. And, we post it with public forum. We could have it as a public session. We could allow people to post that way. We could have some sort of a template where we're going to, the same as we will with our roundtable discussion, and have more of a, kind of a facilitated discussion with people that attend.
As long as we can have a dialogue back and forth, and because if we have public comments here, we can't respond to them. So I think that's where you would.
That's where I was going with that. If
but
it's
is that our
recorded.
rule that we made?
No.
No, that's an open meeting.
That's the whole, they got 5, public has 5 minutes, whatever time we give them. I thought that was, the fact that we did no back and forth was at your discretion.
Well, there is discretion with the chair. Yeah, there is discretion with the chair.
Right.
But I think the purpose of that meeting is a listening session. But because there's more than 2 of us,
Yeah.
we're posting this meeting.
Madam Chair, if I
Yes.
can interject, could you
Please,
run it
please.
like a workshop?
Yeah. I mean, I think the advice I've gotten from the town clerk in the past is that every meeting we post is really posted as a business meeting, but, you could post it in a workshop session, workshop, but with public comment.
Okay. I guess my point was, in case all of us want to be involved,
Yeah,
I mean, we have to do, we have to make whatever accommodations we
Yeah, post as,
need to make sure that all of us can be there and it not be an issue, I guess would be the,
yeah, I just want to be sure that at least 3 of us
Right.
are available,
sure.
and we'll post it as open.
Okay.
Is that, I think at least 3 of us will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
I will be.
Yep,
Yeah.
great, perfect, okay. Yeah, Mr. Cutlass, any comments or thoughts on the timeline?
You're involving the union and the teachers in all these meetings, correct?
Correct. So on the afternoon of the 21st, we are having a roundtable discussion with all union leads, and that's from custodial, it went up to food services, TAG, all union and non-union leadership. And then I also did reach out separately to our largest bargaining unit, the TTA, and offered them kind of a sub-separate time, to meet if they wanted to just kind of be separate from that as well.
All right, thank you.
If they felt as though there was more to talk about, yeah. Okay. If you have any questions, comments, let me know. And then otherwise, we'll just kind of follow these timelines. Oh, and also, if you can let me know in terms of availability, and you can let me know offline when you look at your calendars for the other meetings, the DLT and the union meetings.
Yeah, and just so you know, I moved my flight, so I'll be good for the 28th.
Oh, great, perfect, okay.
I would need to know the times, I think, of those,
Yeah.
just before I could say.
I think like 11 a.m., 3:30 p.m. I think those are the 2 times, but I can confirm for sure. And let you know. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and thank you guys for your time. Let's see, moving on here, we have new school committee matters of interest.
I chaperoned a 4th grade field trip today to the Lowell Mills with Mrs. Gagne's class, my daughter's class. We went to the boot mill. We went to the boot mill last year, but at least this year was a different program. So about immigration and just the people that worked at the mills. And people that came to Lowell. So it was good. Anyway, it was a good time. I'm running out of things with my younger daughter that I can attend, as she gets older. So I'm going to do all the things that I can do. So, but we had a good time. So,
Excellent.
and thanks to the PAC for obviously putting it together. So.
Nice. They do some nice things over there. Mrs. Anderson?
I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Sullivan and the DECA team. There's a lot of dedication that goes into running that program, and the experience that those kids get with real world type situations, and even just the presentation skills that they're getting from being a part of that is huge. So that's a really cool program that it seems like a lot of our students participate in. So I'm happy to hear that the numbers that are in that group. That's it.
I don't have any this time. Thanks.
Oh, good. Mr. Cutlass, anything to add?
Thanks, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay. I don't have much to add other than Happy New Year. Welcome back. I'm attending an Advocacy and Equity Institute in Washington, D.C. in 2 weeks with the National School Board Association. So I'll bring some feedback from that. And that's to, I guess, to do all sorts of advocacy and equity learning. So I'll let you know how that goes. And that's about it for me. And again, thank you guys for entertaining my thoughts on the superintendent search timeline. A lot of thought goes into that stuff. Future school committee dates, we have January 28th, school committee budget workshop, February 9th, budget planning hearing and regular school committee meeting. Future subcommittee and advisory committee meeting dates, we have a CPAC business meeting on January 15th, Wellness Advisory Committee, February 4th, Policy Subcommittee, January 20th, and School Committee Study Committee is January 27th. And that's it. Any future agenda items? No. All right. And at this time, I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session. This will be a non-public session to discuss the approval of executive session minutes, and that was from the December 14th meeting, was it?
Mm-hmm.
So moved. And, yep, collective bargaining, pertaining to the TTA bargaining unit.
Still so moved.
Okay.
Still seconded.
Okay, motion by Mrs. Bijanni Smith, second by Mrs. Anderson. Mr. Cutlass, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Moncada?
Aye.
Mrs. Anderson?
Aye.
Mrs. Bijanni Smith? I vote aye as well. And the time is 7:10 that we'll be leaving here and entering into executive session. We will convene and adjourn the entire meeting from executive session.